Hi, Jeff is away working on the boat, and I thought I would share with you some of the things that I do at home while he is gone to prepare us for this summer. He is taking down the mast and dealing with the chain plates and doing some rebedding on top of the boat. And I am making cockpit cushions, and today I'm going to be doing some food dehydrating and working on a new bread recipe. So the first thing that I'm going to do today is work on some dehydrating. I got this dehydrator for Christmas from my awesome mother and father-in-law, and I'm really looking forward to doing some dehydrating as a way to store vegetables and other foods aboard in case we are offshore for a while or just getting really comfortable in an anchorage and don't want to go to shore to get some provisions. So I just opened up the food dehydrator and the instructions came only in French. And despite the fact that I am French, I don't speak French fluently. I can read a little bit of it, but I don't really want to take any chances and ruin a bunch of expensive vegetables. So I have this book, The Food Dehydrator. I'm going to do a little bit of research in here and see if I can figure out how to use our food dehydrator well enough to proceed. And I will show you what I figure out. So I've washed the dehydrator in some warm soapy water, assuming that that's what the directions would have said. And now I'm going to cut up one of my favorite vegetables, red bell peppers. They're nice and they're sweet, and they're something that you can make stews with, you can make soups with, you can put in scrambled eggs in the morning, and they were 2 for $1 at our Hy-Vee. So I thought I would start with these and see how difficult it is to work the dehydrator. Okay, so I've cut up all of my peppers, and now I'm going to stack them in the food dehydrator on the trays, and the directions say to stack them so that the cut side of the pepper goes down. And the dehydrator is going to take between 12 and 16 hours, and I'm going to be setting it at 135 degrees Fahrenheit. The other thing that I've been working on in the kitchen for the boat is a good gluten-free bread recipe. I've been gluten-free for about 6.5 years now, and I've figured out that I had a wheat allergy. I'm not celiac, but I do have a pretty awful reaction when I eat wheat. And so I have not found anything that I've really liked as far as bread recipes for a long time now, and was getting pretty discouraged. I recently reached out to Bill and Laura, who are cruisers who are currently taking a little break. They're in Portland, Oregon, enjoying land life, but they've crossed the Pacific and their boat is waiting for them over there. Bill was really kind when I emailed him, and I asked him for the recipe that they've been using for bread, because I know that they are also gluten-free. He shared with me a recipe that they use for something sort of like a pancake, and they eat a lot of different meals with it. It reminds me a little bit of like Moroccan or Ethiopian cuisine. And so he uses this, they make them ahead of time, sometimes as pancakes, but sometimes more as a vehicle for other foods. And I was really curious to see what it was like. For Christmas, I got a book called The Gluten-Free Artisanal Bread in 5 Minutes a Day. And though it's really not 5 minutes a day, it is the best gluten-free bread that I've had yet. It cooks up with a really crispy crust, and it's pretty delicious. The flavor is somewhere between a sourdough bread and a pretzel. And I'm going to try to make up a loaf today. What you do is you make up the batter ahead of time and you let it sit in the fridge, and you can make a loaf from that batter anytime over the next 7 to 10 days. You can also freeze the bread dough and use it later. So my bread dough has been in the refrigerator for about 6 days now. I made one loaf and I ate it all in one sitting, which to me is just a sign of how good the bread is. This is the book, Gluten-Free Artisanal Bread in 5 Minutes a Day. This is my dough. And I'm gonna now take a little bit of dough out and let it rise. It's not really rising, it's really just setting for an hour, and then you cook it. And the recipe is easy enough that I think that I can keep it on the boat, that I can store the dough in our refrigerator, and I'm looking forward to trying it this summer. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you're going to coat a nonstick pan or a pizza peel in cornmeal, and be generous because you're going to want to slide the dough off of this after you let it set. You're going to want about a 1 pound piece of dough, and you do not want to knead it. You want to try to keep as much air in the dough as possible, and it's going to be extremely sticky. The best way to shape this dough is to get your hands wet with cold water. After you shape the dough to something that looks like a loaf, you're then going to cover it for an hour. And I'm just using a foil baking pan. And I bought this because I'm going to use it again in the oven to trap steam. The other project I've been working on since Jeff has been gone is the cockpit cushions. I have made a series of videos about making the first cockpit cushion, and since then I feel like I've been getting better, and I've made 2 more covers. So I have 1, 2, so I have 3 done, and today I'm hoping to finish up the 4th cushion, and there's 7 total that I need to make for the cockpit. So I'm on my way. I'm pretty happy that I'm making progress on these. I was a little bit worried it was going to take me the entire spring, and I was going to be really challenged to get them done before we were back on the boat at the beginning of May. But they're coming along just fine. Today I'm gonna show you some footage of me working on the 4th cushion. Ah! Oh, I hate it when that happens. That is when your bobbin runs out and you're not paying attention and you just keep sewing and you waste a lot of time. Okay, so back to the bread. The bread's been rising for an hour, and I say rising, but it's really just setting because gluten-free breads don't rise very much. So now what you're going to want to do is take the foil top off of it and dust the top of it with a gluten-free flour. I'm going to use brown rice flour, and then I'm also going to cut a few slits in the top of the bread to let any steam escape. Alright, so now the bread is ready to go in the oven, and the tricky part is getting it off of, I used a cookie sheet that doesn't have a lip on one side, and you need to slide this off of the cookie sheet onto the heated pizza stone that you have in the oven, or baking stone. And I've been preheating my oven with my baking stone in it for about 20 minutes to make sure that my pizza stone is good and hot and ready to go. So now I'm going to put this in the oven. See if I can give you a shot of me doing this. You want to put something over the top of your dough to trap the steam. And you're going to cook it for 45 minutes, but you're going to want to remove that foil baking pan after about 2/3 of the way through or so. Alright, we're about 2/3 of the way through the baking time, and I'm just going to take off the foil cover that I had put on here. Show you what it looks like. Saw all that seam escape. It's looking pretty good so far. About 15 more minutes and then we'll be done. Alright, let's check it out. Great. So it looks pretty delicious. Nice, crispy, crunchy outside, and soft and delicious inside. Now you want to wait for this bread to completely cool before you eat it, otherwise it's going to have a really strange texture and consistency. I know it's hard because fresh baked bread smells so good, but trust me, it's better to wait. It just won't taste correct if you cut into it when it's this hot. So the book recommends a 2-hour time to wait till it cools down, and I agree. It's well worth it though, trust me. So I hope that you enjoyed this non-sailing video, but this is the kind of thing that we do all the time, all year long when we're not on the boat. We're always thinking about what we can do when we are on the boat, ways that we can transfer our life on land to living on the water, and ways that we can be self-sufficient. And one of the ways for me is being able to cook good food that is gluten-free. And I've set off the fire alarm, so I'm going to go take care of that. Alright, so it's been a long day of working on boat-related things at home, and I just wanted to show you a couple of things and how progress has happened. So the bread is done, and I'm going to cut into it and show you what it looks like on the inside. You can see it's got a nice hard crust. Just want to tap off a little bit of the flour. got a nice texture. It's a little spongy on the inside, but nice and crispy on the outside. And it's going to be delicious. Right now I'm making some quinoa pasta and veggies to go on top. And then over here, got the dehydrator going. It's been going since 2:30 this afternoon, so when I wake up in the morning tomorrow, my red peppers should be done. And lastly, I've started working on the second large cushion for our companionway, or no, our cockpit. And this will be the 4th cushion out of 7. And so I've got the custom piping attached to it. And right now I am working on the zipper boxing for the back of the cushion. So I'm about to attach the zipper. Actually, I've already attached the zipper. I forgot. But I'm just needing to attach right here some supports, and then this will be done. And then I can put together the rest of the boxing and attach it to the top of the plate and essentially be done with that cushion. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. It's about 8:30, I think, Central Time, maybe 8:45. I'm going to sit down, have some dinner, and probably watch the Michigan basketball game since I didn't get to watch it earlier today. All right, talk with you guys later.